So we have a question from Twitter. So this will be our last question. It's from Hannah, and then there's a whale icon in her name. So at Homaris Hannah. Her question, I guess, is I'll direct it to Chris. So it's about the autonomous ship. And her question was sort of along the line of the earlier questions about noise from that ship. So is there, are you familiar with anything to do with the noise? And I want to extend that question a bit because there's a big elephant in the room, which is the labor component. And so now there's this weird thing that sort of happens where electrification often goes hand in hand with automation for a bunch of reasons. And so what's your view on that? Because this is really important because people might be opposing this for clear interested reasons for labor. So how do we sort of in your mind get around this? How do we achieve electrification if automation has to come with that? What do we do about the labor? So the two questions were, is it quiet? And what do you think about that? And the labor.
From what I've read in the reports on the development of the vessel, it is quiet.
Yeah.
And it meets the acoustic, will meet the acoustic standards for IMO 2050. Obviously, as a president of a union and a trade unionist, I think we have to save jobs. There's some societal impacts in everybody losing their job with autonomous vehicles and autonomous shipping and autonomous dock work. I know our members here in St. John's, they provide an economic benefit to their families and the local economy as well. And if people aren't working, who's paying the taxes in the country to support these programs and public healthcare and public education and all that other stuff that people need? So I think there's some societal questions that have to be answered around electrification as well. Because like you say, the autonomous agenda and the electrification agenda, sometimes they seem to go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, and I don't want us to lose that thought, because if they do go hand in hand, then that will be an opposition to electrification and potentially a legitimate one.
And a just transition is, I mean, oil field workers, they have to develop into renewable energy workers, whereas a just transition if they don't have jobs. And it's the same thing for people that work on the boats, seafarers, and people that work on the docks, longshoremen, they need jobs. And
when people say there's savings, that's the savings, right? Oftentimes it's because you're not paying as many people.
And it's the biggest threat. It's the biggest threat to dock work right now. The International Transport Workers Federation and the International Dock Workers Council, all the transport unions have big campaigns going against autonomous vehicles. And even if you look at UPS with these autonomous vehicles, I think there's 13,000 members in the Teamsters Union that drive vehicles for UPS. But if they go to all autonomous vehicles, they won't have jobs. So